Welcome to another tool review on Ultimate DIYer. This behind me I just got through doing, and you can go to the video and check this out. And it's on the Atomic drill set, which Home Depot had an awesome deal going on. And by the way, a shout out to Stephen, my rep. Stephen, appreciate it. But today we're going to actually use this tool, the new one will impact, to try out a tool that my wife, Regan, picked up for me. This is an impact-driven pipe cutter. Cuts ABS, PVC, cuts PEX. This is Homeowner PEX, which I use a lot, Pro PEX. Some people will use just the PEX that you get. I believe it's a Pro PEX made by SharkBite. I tend to prefer Homeowner. That's what I've always used. But I cut a lot of that, which would be great to see how this works. This is the one I'm really interested to see how it works on. If this will literally cut through PVC. They claim it does. So we're going to go through the unboxing, see what's in it, and then we'll go through setting it up and seeing how that works. And I'm going to do it with you guys seeing it firsthand, so I'm not going to open it up ahead of time. It's still sealed. I'm going to cut it, open it up. We'll look at it together and we'll see how it works. So hang on a second. I'm going to pull the camera in a little, get a closer view so that you can see what it looks like and how it works. So it says it's Impact Connect, 6 times faster cuts apparently than trying to do it with other ways. Less hassle of, hand tools, works on PEX, PVC, and this will cut PVC up to 2 inches. So this is a 2-inch pipe, so that's supposed to be its max. So we'll see what it does. So like I did on the other boxes, I usually only open up one end. Now this one, I guess it does not really matter which end, so we're going to cut the tape. The reason I don't just tear the box open is if I have to take it back, I want my box in good shape. If for some reason it doesn't work and it's got some kind of an issue. So let's see what this one looks like. It kind of opens from the top, not the ends. So let's just see if we can get that to work. There it is. And here. Good. There we go. Pretty simple. Yeah, it looks like there's quite a few little parts in here. Let's see what this is. There's your instruction manual. We're real guys. We don't need instruction manuals. We just throw them in the corner. Oh, interesting. So let's see what we've got here. So that's your unit. It's actually much heavier than I thought it would be. I was kind of expecting a little more just plasticky, but it's pretty heavy. This is all actually metal. This is your plastic. So, and connectors. They give you a little picture, stop, alert, must be installed before using brace base. So this must be the brace so that it doesn't kick back on you. Let's undo this instead of just trying to. It's actually pretty snug on here. So I may end up having to rip this a little. So what I'm going to do, just like so. I see the driver. There's your driver that goes into your impact. There we go. So that's everything out of the box. So what we have to do is figure out how this attaches. So let's go ahead and be a non-typical guy and we'll read some directions. All right. So this unit, your drill just kind of clicks into it. And it shows it without the battery clicking in. question is, it's very interesting. They show it in the picture, what you see. They show it in the picture with it on the ground. This end, I'm assuming, sticking up. Don't really show the, is that the driver? Yep, that looks like the driver, little driver holder. So they show it like this, and they show it going in and pushing backwards. So let's see if it will work that way. It's kind of awkward. I guess just like that. And this tightens. Very strange. Yeah, that's exactly the way they're showing it. And then this, tell you what, I'm going to get rid of this little tag. So sorry guys, seems a little awkward, but I wanted to do it firsthand just like I was actually dealing with like my very first time, so it's kind of make it fair. So obviously this is going to go into the bar. I see that. I'm just trying to figure out. They show it upside down just like I got it. See if it's supposed to just first come down. These loosen so it'll turn. It does not seem real easy. Okay, that'll go up and down, but this should spin easier unless I can see notches here where this is supposed to go over. You would think this would be facing the other way. I don't want to push it and break it. That just totally comes off. There it goes. So I'm having to pull up a little bit on this lever to get it to move and display it to the right spot. And then this has a release mechanism. You pull the lever back and it should clip. There. There it is. Now push this back up. Tighten it back. Like that. Like that should be tight. So you have to loosen these. I had to loosen this a lot to pull this to get this to come back. And you have to be careful because you don't want to snap this off, because now this part does look like just plastic. Comes around, and I have a clip here that I can push up or down that'll lock it in place over the little bar that goes across. So now it looks like it is in pretty decent shape. Okay, I can also tighten this to keep this from swiveling, or you may want to swivel it depending on what you're doing. Let's see what it does with the battery. Okay, battery is now in. Okay. Maybe. That's. There's the guard, comes off. Oh, okay, literally does work in reverse and forward. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Let's see if, I'd like to see if this will lock a little. I don't like this moving so much. See if this will tighten. There we go. That feels a whole lot better. This is tight, tight. And let's tighten this down, make sure it isn't going anywhere. There we go. Yeah, very cool. So, took a second to figure it out, but I'm sure in the future when you do it, it's a whole lot easier. So let's try a piece of Uponor ProPEX, and that will be our first test. So I see you have grooves right here, and that's where your cutting line is going to be. So I'm assuming that's where we want to put our pipe. So I'm going to put it here. Wow, I have to admit that is pretty smooth. A very nice cut. Let's try it again. We're going to put it back in the little spot. Now I'm going to turn it this way so you can see a little better. Wow, very cool. Now one thing I don't know is on these cutters if they're easily replaceable. I'm sure it'll tell me inside of here, but I'll have to look into that one and see. I'll try to look here in a second and see before we end this video. But let's try the big boy. So this is supposed to be your max. So I'm going to back it all the way up, take it and put it in. And I tell you what, let's do. Let's make this a little more interesting. Don't really have a marker nearby me, but we'll see if we can make a mark with a pencil here. And let's see how good it cuts if we're trying to make a mark on a line. So I'm going to take it down there. I'm assuming you have this cut line here, so you can kind of look and see if it's right in the center. So we're going to try that. So here we go. Okay, so it definitely cut off to the side of it a little. So I'm going to have to play with that to figure out exactly how you get the line. But it did cut it very smooth. It look a little crooked, maybe. So let me see if I can figure out a better way. Okay, so the cut is definitely at the top of this notch as well. So let's try it again. Let's make us another mark. So I want it here. I'm going to say that is our mark. Alright, so we are going to line that mark up right in the middle of those. That was actually perfect. And my line's pretty straight. Well, maybe a little crooked. It seems like it turns it a little, but I did cut pretty much right on the line. That's pretty close. It would probably take a little getting used to and figuring out how to keep it straight. I was kind of leery of keeping my hand too close to it in case it shatters, because I have seen some of these kind of cutters shatter these PVC pipes. So once you get the hang of it, now you may be able to even sharpen this blade. Yeah, it's pretty sharp. I can feel it on my finger. Let's see. There are two screws here. This will come off, and I would imagine that blade comes out. Let me see what it. Trying to see if they give a number for a replacement blade. Here you go. Replacing blade, figure H. Advance blade all the way forward by holding the trigger on the impact driver. Remove battery from the driver. Push blade cover alignment guide through the front slot. Are secured under the blade. These arrows should be open and back once the blade. So yes, you can change the blade out and get new blades. They're not really giving me a blade number here. I'm trying to look to see for you guys, but they do have them, so I'm sure it's just a matter of looking it up. I'm going to see something. Okay, all the way contracted. Remove the battery, and I think it may have something to do. It's very hard to see what that actually is. They're saying push forward. It's very difficult, though. It doesn't push forward very easy. So I'm not real sure. I'd have to play with this for a while to figure out how to get this blade out. I have a feeling it has something to do with these guys right here on the sides. There is, like I said, screws here, but I think it's more of this. And it may have to have, and by the way, with that tightened, you can't just pull it out. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, that's how it works in a nutshell. I'll have to play with it a little more, see how to get the blades and how much these blades cost. All right, guys. So overall, I mean, the thing I will tell you about it that I don't like is it's bulky. It is heavy. You would think this would be lightweight, cheap plastic, but it's not. I'm assuming they had to use a lot of metal in it so that they make it heavy duty. Otherwise, you'd be breaking these and they'd get a ton of them returned. This mechanism part of it seems a little bit flimsy and plasticky to me. Whether it'll hold up, I don't know. If you're throwing it around, I have a feeling you're going to break this. So you got to be really cautious with this tool. As far as that goes, it has a bit holder, which I do like here, which is kind of cool. So if you have a bit in here and you're going to slide this on, you can pull that bit out and just set it on the side. That's a nice feature. The other thing I haven't figured out, like you just saw when I had it apart, is how to get the blade out of here. And I have a feeling it has something to do. There's two buttons, but these buttons are extremely hard to push. They don't move easily. This one actually does not show a forward. I think it's stationary. I think it's only this button. And it looks like it pushes in and over, but it's not wanting to go. So I don't know. You have to have the driver out maybe, and then you can do it. But it definitely said to pull the battery out if you're going to start messing with that blade. And I guarantee you, I wouldn't do it, but wouldn't mess with it with the battery in, because that blade is extremely sharp, very, very sharp. I was surprised how sharp, but I guess it has to be to cut through PVC. So it'll cut up to 2-inch PVC. It will definitely cut, Pro PEX, PEX A, PEX B. It'll cut all of them, which is a great tool. If you have an extra impact, I would take and leave it on it so that you're not constantly fighting it, trying to take this thing apart. That's another big drawback to me, is you're going to be having to literally pull it on and off. Let's just see how hard it is to get this off. So I've got my battery off and loosening here. May not be too bad. Let's see. So that's loose. Now it moves. Pull that forward. Yeah, it's still kind of a pain. Loosen this one. Yeah. See, it's just, to me, this seems almost like it's very easy to break this loose. Not in a good way. Now, maybe I'm fighting it because I'm not used to it. Maybe if you do this every day and you get used to it, it will operate fast. There, it's apart. Now you lay it down and you're going to have to get this back out. So it does not seem, there we go. Okay, so let me loosen this a little. Maybe I've got that too tight. Loosen that one. You have a tensioner here, 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 and here. So you have 4 tensioners on this thing. Okay, there it's out. Now another drawback is if you have the clip on your gun, that clip is probably going to be in the way. You're going to have to remove your hanging clip, the clip that looks like this one here, which I don't have this one mounted yet. So you would probably have to remove that clip to make this work. So I've got it loose, and it's just like really difficult to get this thing back and forth. So maybe open it up a little more. Now maybe, like I said, if I do it a couple times, it'll be faster. I'll know how to do that. So now it's off, and everything moves, which is great. But if it were me, and I was going to use this on a daily basis, or quite often, I would have an extra gun like this one, and I would go ahead and just rig it up and leave it alone, and put it somewhere, though, where you're not busting it up, throwing it around. Then I think it might be okay. Otherwise, it's awfully cumbersome to hook all of this up, to get it to work. So that's it. Let's see now if this is loosened here or not here, if this moves. See, it still does not really move. So I'm not real sure. Tried to read the instructions, but I don't see how that actually comes off. So I would have to maybe play with that a little more. Maybe I'll make a second video on how you actually replace the blade, in case you guys do decide you want to get one of these. So if you're a full-time plumber and you are doing lots of pipe cutting, great tool. If you're a handyman, a DIYer, and you're only cutting every once in a while, I really don't know if this will be a great tool for you because of how cumbersome it is to hook up, move around, the time involved hooking it up. Because if you don't do it every day, obviously you're not going to be real good at hooking it up all the time. So I would think it's a lot faster just to get some regular cutters and cut it, or use a chop saw and chop your pipes. These, they have the little, PEX, you have the little hand one that's extremely quick. When it comes to PVC, I generally use a chop saw and just chop it, get a very straight cut, very quick, very precise. So I guess it depends on what your trade is, whether you should buy this or not. I would really think twice if you don't do a lot of pipe cutting. But anyway, that's it in a nutshell. And until the next tool review, we will see you. And if, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, be sure and subscribe. Leave me some comments. If you've used this and you love it, leave some comments and let me know. If you hate it, leave some comments, let me know. It also not only helps me, it helps all the people who watch the channel and read the comments. If you'd like to suggest some tools for reviews or some different things that I can do for videos that you guys want to see, leave those as well. Be sure you hit that little bell notification button, because what that does is it lets you know every time that I'm about to release a new video, or as I release the video, so you can watch it as soon as it's released. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.